Today's games are brought to you by AE Engine Media Marketing, AmericanEagle.com, Bag Tags, Bubba Burger, Bullseye CMYK, Cliff Kid, Expand-A-Brand, Front Rush, Fusionetics, Dick's Sporting Goods. Today's games are also brought to you by Major League Soccer, Nestle Nesquik, Nike, NSCAA, Positive Coaching Alliance, Premier International Tours, U.S. Soccer, Wilson Trophy Company, and Yokohama.
The road starts here. The road paved by pain, sacrifice, and struggle. The road paved by passion and pursuit. The road where dreams come true. On this road, many will fail, and on this road, many dreams will fade. But as for you, what will be your fate? When there are seconds left and you are running on fumes, will you be satisfied with almost? Or will you dig down into the dirt, take one more step and make one more play, knowing that good enough isn't good enough? And all the blood, sweat, and tears have brought you to this moment, the moment where pain turns to greatness. On this road, nothing is given, everything is taken. On this road, winners will rise to the top. Heroes will be made. And on this road, champions will be crowned.
It was 1935, the year that Elvis and Sandy Koufax were born. It was a year of many firsts, including the first NFL draft, the first Monopoly board game went on sale, Social Security began, and Babe Ruth hit his last home run. In addition to these milestones, the National Junior Challenge Cup was founded in 1935. Offering a youth competition for young men in the United States. The cup was later named the James P. Maguire Cup, after the late U.S. soccer president, who himself was quite a standout in his earlier days, winning the U.S. Open Cup in 1929. Maguire would lead U.S. soccer and earn an international reputation as an excellent leader.
The Jim Maguire Cup was started in 1935. It was the only cup that the United States Soccer Federation had for youth players. And it was a very good competition, and I can tell you, I mean, this was the highlight of my soccer career to be a champion in 1954.
This storied cup, now the oldest trophy in youth sport.
It has a history, it has a meaning, I think it has tradition. So I think it's extremely important for our competitions, for all the age groups that kind of emulate the Maguire Cup.
Winning the Maguire Cup is huge, just because all that history that comes along with the oldest trophy in youth sports period. That's really big for us.
Who will write their name in the next chapter of the storied Maguire?
Welcome into Frisco, Texas at the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships. We are at the Toyota Soccer Center bringing you the 1920U Girls Division contest, the first of two 1920U Girls Divisions matchups on Field 4, which is where we are at, RAV4 Field. They are underway, and we'll get you squared away as to who's who and where they're headed just as soon as we can, as it did not take long for a big collision and for this thing to get started. The ASA Coyotes out of Maryland, the Arundel Soccer Association, in the white top uniforms, the blue shorts, heading left to right in the opening first half against the YMS Premier Xplosion 98. They are listed as the away team in the dark navy uniform tops and shorts, and they are heading from right to left, again left to right for ASA. Our game time temperature for this one is 88 degrees, sunny skies, very few clouds in the sky at this moment. The heat index is already 10 degrees hotter than the regular temperature, so it feels like 98 out here, and perhaps on this surface it may even already feel like 100 degrees out there or more at this point. A south wind of 12 miles per hour. That wind is moving left to right, and so ASA will have that wind advantage in the first half, and we will see if they will be able to take advantage of that throughout. Two 45-minute halves for you in the 1920U age division. First big shot on goal is a left foot kick that goes up high from Haley Bicknell as she launches one up over the top of Gabrielle Isola, the goalkeeper for YMS Premier. So again, ASA Coyotes moving left to right out of Maryland, and YMS Premier Xplosion 98 going right to left. That soccer ball took a big turn and ended up 2 fields over. Every once in a while they'll put a new soccer ball out and let that one go, but she is still chasing it. This is pretty unbelievable. She is literally halfway onto another field. And the goalkeeper usually doesn't get that kind of workout early on, but they are going to make her chase down the soccer ball. So we got off to a bang, a quick start in this one. Player being knocked down early in the first 2 to 3 minutes, and then all of a sudden it came to a complete halt as that soccer ball rolled clear across the way onto one of the other fields. 18 soccer fields here at the Toyota Soccer Center. It's a massive, sprawling complex in Frisco, Texas. So the goalkeeper Isola sends it away, and we are back to play now. Foul, not playing the ball, and that'll give the kick to the ASA Coyotes. Free kick kept basically on the ground, a low lining kick. Flies left of the goalkeeper, and here we go again where that ball is onto the other field. Isola decides she's not going to go chase it this time, and the goalkeeper from the other field did the best she could to get that soccer ball off of her field while her game is going on. I think the fans were anticipating that she might turn around and kick it or throw it back to the other field, but she didn't know where the ball came from, and she has to focus on her game right now. So she just did what she could to get the ball off of her field, and now Isola has it back. I believe they do have a backup soccer ball. We saw it yesterday where they went to it a couple of times. The difference is that game where they went to the secondary ball, it was because it was late in the game and came at a crucial moment. Here we're just early on, and they'll make them chase it down. Not quite the big leagues yet where you have somebody track down the ball for you at all times. A little bit of a stutter step there in the middle, and now just right at the box line. Attempt from Drew Kesterman, but that was quickly deflected back by a YMS Premier defender. Up the left side, racing away is Maddie Ull, and she'll fire into the middle. The goalkeeper in gray, Hannah Warner, will come out and make the stop and fire it back out onto the right side. So this one's got a good pace to it back and forth when the ball's in play. A little bit different feel in the 1920 U girls division as opposed to the 13 U boys division, which we ended the day with yesterday. So, yeah, the speed and intensity definitely pick up at this level. High caliber soccer players here, and it looks like an opportunity will be stopped at goal by Gabrielle Isola as Madeline Bolu, and I hope I said that name right, gave it her best effort. Speaking of saying names right, I already told the representative from ASA who came over here to visit with us before the match that as a native Texan, I have to say Coyotes. She said Coyotes, so I'll do my best to call it Coyotes if I can, but if I slip up, it's just a Texas thing. We know all about those Coyotes down here. Although I did just spend 4 days in Maryland, so, you know, maybe I could acclimate myself a little bit. Enjoyed the Baltimore area. Got to take in a game at Camden Yards, which everybody says is one of the top places in all of Major League Baseball to see a game. And you folks up in Maryland, I would say that's absolutely the case. We have one other 1920 U girls contest taking place right now. We're over on Field 5 that we are streaming for you. WSA 98 Red out of Oklahoma against Team Chicago Academy 1998 Elite out of Illinois. I have to say, when I was in Baltimore, I was expecting cool temperatures, but actually got there a few days after what I believe was a heavy rain, and the temperatures were in the 90s throughout, so maybe this team from Maryland is used to those conditions. Pennsylvania had a little bit of hot weather too. Didn't quite get the same kind of hot like it does down here though, so at least not for as many days. We'll have to see how that plays into a factor for these two teams, although they play and travel all over the place and play at different colleges during the year as well, so they're used to all types of conditions. Sliding stop there from the Coyotes, and the ball back out near midfield with Emma Anderson. Just briefly before dishing to a teammate. Ball worked to the far left side of the field. And we see the Coyotes slowing down the tempo now, working it into the backfield before coming across that midway line to Bicknell. Bicknell tries to square one up in the middle, partially deflected by a couple of YMS Premier players. Again, it's Hannah Warner in goal for the Coyotes, and for YMS Premier, Gabrielle Isola. Here at the Toyota Soccer Center, we are on the opposite side of the team benches. They each have two red tents to keep them shaded the best they possibly can. The field runs north to south, south to north, and so because of that, you've got sun in the east and the west, and it can beam in on you quite a bit. The Toyota Stadium, where FC Dallas plays, is just off to our left here in Frisco. And this area is also home to the Star, which is the new home complex and practice facility of the Dallas Cowboys of the NFL, although they do still play at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. This at one time over here had the name of the Dr. Pepper Arena, or ballpark, or sorry, Dr. Pepper facility, but that's all down in Plano now. Another lost soccer ball that goes awry, and so that'll slow play for a bit as we are now already into the 11th minute of the first half. ASA Coyotes against the YMS Premier Xplosion 98. Second of 3 consecutive days of soccer before a day off on Friday, with semifinal action taking place Saturday in the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships. A high shot that goes up over the top of the goalpost. And again, a wayward soccer ball. This one's going to end up halfway on field 8. And we have one patron who is doing her part to chase down every loose soccer ball. She actually ran on to field 8. Ran out of energy, I think, and just kind of rolled one back up to the goalkeeper. She might need some help, I'm thinking. I may need to go over there eventually and jump in. Give me a wireless microphone and help field soccer balls. I'd venture to guess we've had more wayward soccer balls in this one than goals scored maybe between these two teams on the first day, although offside's the call. I don't have those numbers in front of me of what they did yesterday. So that'll stop play for just a moment. We will have another 1920U girls contest coming up next, which will feature Beach FC 98 Academy out of California against EGA Maroon 98 from Nebraska. Quite a few Nebraska teams here and all different age divisions. Nebraska represented really well. Ball sent up the right side, picked up nicely by Emma Anderson. Anderson just outside the box on the cross. Not there the first try. Good footwork and around, and that one is in. It's a goal. A goal scored for the ASA Coyotes. Try to get a look at it again to tell you who that one was. Comes here in the 13th minute. There wasn't just a whole lot of celebration there from the Coyotes. Big wind up there and just off of the hand of the goalkeeper, Warner, to reject that strong effort from Maddie Yule. Looked as if the goal came from number 16, Paula Watnick. Give her credit for that one. Ball's going to go back over to blue to YMS Premier. And so the first goal comes here in the 13th minute to give the Coyotes a 1-0 advantage. Seeing a strong leg from Maddie Yule number 11 for YMS. She works it up the field to Agnew. Agnew looking for a clear path, can't find one, dishes back to Ewell, left side. Ewell met by several defenders. Cross court, or cross field shot there is rejected back. Going to stay down around the goal for a moment. And there we almost have a clear out for the Coyotes. Coyotes head into its 5th run at the national championship after winning the 2017 Region 1 championship. They defeated the 2016 national champion, which, oh, by the way, happens to be this team, the YMS Premier Xplosion 98, in the final match. Now, these two teams quite familiar with each other as ASA matches up against YMS Premier. ASA winning the Region 1 championship and YMS Premier finishing runner-up. This is Group B play in the preliminary action. Now into the 17th minute of play here in the first half. ASA went undefeated in Group C play during the regional. They scored 13 goals and allowed only 2. At a semifinal victory of 3-0. Game went into penalty kicks before they defeated YMS. Ball poked free near the midfield and now picked up by ASA. Ball stopped, but able to stay with it was Kesterman. Foul called against YMS Premier, allowing for a free kick upcoming for ASA. Quite a history for this ASA team. State champs each of the last 5 seasons, going back to 2012. Now, sometimes players play on the team for 2 years, but for the most part you have new players, so that's quite the tradition as that one rockets past the wall, but it's stopped. Gabriela Isola makes the grab just off the right post. Again, talking about a team with that type of tradition over the last 5 years, half a decade, with different players coming in and out. ASA works it back across the midway line. Now they appear to be ready to go and attack, but it's going to be off of YMS, so throw in coming. Lindsay Whitkind to throw it in. We understand in yesterday's action there were several jersey changes and adjustments made prior to the competition, in which we were not privy to. So we're doing our best to get the names right. I hope you are enjoying the broadcast and hope you enjoy the playback, because I understand that a lot of the athletes like to go back and watch it on YouTube. The greatness of YouTube, right? All of my mistakes there forever. That's the wrong way of looking at it, right? All of the great moments there forever. 1-0 our score as the ASA Coyotes have the lead. A 13th minute goal by Paula Watnick. And it does seem to appear that the team out of Maryland is controlling the pace of this first half so far, as we are nearly 20 minutes in. Not the best kick there from Isola. Again, a fairly stiff wind now. South wind 15 miles per hour. It's moving left to right. We have fans standing along the advertising signs, getting the best view possible here for the competition. Not a lot of bleacher seating, but that is being occupied as well off to our left. And again, the team benches on the far side of the field. The referee tent as well is square in between those two benches on the far side. Been really impressed with the referees throughout this entire tournament. I know it's a big deal to be selected. 96 teams competing here, so you can imagine how many matches are taking place day in and day out. And referees have we got to be in great shape, got to be ready to go, got to be focused, and they have done just that. Here comes ASA, at least on our field anyways, from what I've seen. And we are going to have offsides there, I believe. Or did they call not playing the ball there? Maybe that's what they called on Emma Anderson. Actually, not certain. YMS has had a difficult time getting the ball past midfield. Those midfielders have done a good job for ASA to keep it on their attacking end. A big part of that is Amanda Wilson, and now they are offsides. Definitely hot out there as we're seeing some of the players go to the sidelines to get some water for a cool off at any moment. At any break, a couple of them going to the sidelines. Far right side of the field for YMS as they look to get something going. A header will redirect it the other way. Premier Xplosion still controlling for the moment. Rachel Berry now deep in the corner, or over on the side, and that ends up out. Not quite to the corner. Ball is given to ASA. Got a break in the action here to allow the teams to have a little bit of a water break in our 23rd minute of play, so we'll step away for just a moment as well. This is the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships from Frisco, Texas. And we're back to play here at the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships in Frisco, Texas. Michael Westbrook with you. Thanks for being along with us. The team out of Maryland, ASA Coyotes, leading the way 1-0 after a 13th minute goal, leading YMS Premier Xplosion 98. These two teams just playing each other in the regional finals to advance to this point. Of course, both teams had a game yesterday as well. If you are wondering, and I imagine you probably are, with these two teams as good as they are, give you the rest of the schedule for them. Work our way backwards here. The 1920 U Girls Championship is going to take place on Field 8 Sunday morning with a 7:15 start. And then on Saturday, the semifinals will also be a 7 o'clock start for the 1920 U Girls. Field 12 and Field 13, the two semifinals matches. So they'll play that one, get about 24 hours rest, actually a little bit less than that by the time the game is over, and compete early on Sunday morning in the championship. Most of these ladies probably don't play too many early college matches, 7 a.m. or so, but I do like the early games. Gives you a different feel for things, and of course out here because of the heat they kind of have to do that. But I would say there's probably a really good chance they've played some 11 o'clock contest. Looks like, from what I can tell, the YMS Premier Xplosion, again based out of Pennsylvania, most of their college players are playing up in the Northeast. You have Harvard and represented, but you do have Vanderbilt down in Tennessee represented. A couple of players there. One from Southeastern Louisiana University who is used to dealing with all of this heat. Meanwhile, for the Coyotes, Syracuse and Campbell, University of Cincinnati, again, many of those up in the northern part of the world, one from Louisiana State as well. Of course, you have to wonder if maybe just a couple of years ago they were recruited to some of those schools right here in this U.S. Youth Soccer Championship event. We know that college scouts, pro scouts are on hand throughout the venue. Now, it is a big venue, so it doesn't mean they're all over here right now. Of course, these players already at the college level don't need to be scouted for that. We're into the 26th minute of action in the first half, 2:45-minute half, so yeah, we've still got a ways to go in the opening frame where the Coyotes lead 1-0. Premier Xplosion going right to left. They're in the Navy uniforms. And the ASA Coyotes going left to right. They have the wind with them and the white uniform tops. Working the ball back into the backfield, shifting it around along the wings. And now the ball to the midfield up in front. It's going to be too far ahead of the intended target for the Coyotes. And we apologize here that do not have a number. There's the 26. That was one of the changes. Julia Gray. She was called a different name yesterday, or maybe not even called at all. So Julia Gray wearing number 26. And had that ball been had a little bit less on it, she might have had a play on it. The goalkeeper, Isola, did not hit that where she wanted to go. Also credit the Coyotes player for getting over to the ball, Bicknell. Maddie Yule spins off of a bit of a wraparound there, and she races across the midway line. Yule still controlling. She's taking on just about everybody, and now the tug-of-war battle ensues, and the foul is called against Ewell. Strong free kick just outside of the box, a header blasted away back the other direction by Julia Simkus for Premier Xplosion. The foul gives it back to Premier. Premier Xplosion was looking to break away there, but they elected to work it back to Meredith Weber. Looking for a clearing in the middle. This is about as clear as it's been for him, although it bottled up in a hurry. And there is nothing there that time as the goalkeeper, Warner, makes the stop. Well, the traffic opened up for just a moment, and then it was as if a big 18-wheeler came over and cut everybody off. That just closed up right away as several Coyotes got there across the middle to stop that effort. Coyotes not in a lot of hurry. Their offense is to really work that ball back and forth. And then begin to push the pressure a little bit. Fight for it in midfield, and it comes to Murphy Agnew. Agnew's going to skip the pass right. Not where she needed it to be. Oh, big hard collision with a foul called on Meredith Weber. Meredith Weber played the ball. She kicked the ball, but then just barreled over. That may be Amanda Wilson. It's either 6 or 16. Still kind of limping just a bit. Sorry, that was number 5. Comer. Juliana Comer. And right now they're yelling at YouTube, no, that wasn't me. Well, we got it right. And actually, okay, so they actually called it on Comer there, allowing Premier Xplosion the kick. Comer took the brunt of the hit and was also the one called for the foul for being in the way. Murphy Agnew down on a knee near midfield talking to the official. I don't know if she was trying to stretch out a sore hamstring or she was just taking a breather. She is holding her stomach right now. Got a corner kick coming for Premier Xplosion. A good ball at the net. The header misses. Redirected back out along the left wing and picked up by Bree Pavol. A through ball up on the right side, and it is going to be sent backwards to the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper elects not to pick it up, but instead kick it back out. Pretty tough battle there along the side, and YMS will have the throw in. We're into the 33rd minute of the first half. Throw in is coming from Abby Johnson. Looked as if Paula Watnick was trying to Bicycle kick there to get around the defender. Couldn't quite do so. See that player for YMS Premier again, down stretching. So dealing with some sort of perhaps hamstring situation. Pavel being chased by Anderson, and the ball's going to be kicked back near midfield. Losing her footing just a bit was Murphy Agnew for Premier Xplosion. Ball ends up out, and it is taken over by ASA. Got some jersey holding taking place there. And Dana Reed called for the foul. Seeing several players from this Pennsylvania team kind of, times when there's a break, they're kind of doubled over trying to catch their breath. We have a few others out there stretching. I don't know if it's a symptom of the heat today or if they're just dealing with other injuries throughout the tournament or from previous matches. ASA up 1-0 and on the move. That one's going to go out of play as Isola will wait and let everybody retreat a bit. 35th minute of play here in the first half. Told you a little bit about ASA and how they made it to this point, of course, with a win over YMS Premier. YMS Premier was the 2016 national champion. They won its second consecutive National League Red Division title in order to make it to the national championships for its 5th run. YMS went 6-0-1 during the National League section as it piled up 18 goals, surrendered 4, and again nearly won the 2017 Region 1 championship title, but fell in penalty kicks to ASA. They've been state champs in 2011, 12, 13, 14, 16, and 17. National championship finalist in 2013, 14, 15, and then champions in 2016. So, we were talking about ASA and what they've been able to do since about the 2012 season, and you could put the run back to 2011 for this YMS team, seeing 2 of the premier teams. I don't mean that just because one of them has that in their title, but 2 very highly qualified teams out here, and there's a shot that goes high out of play from Paula Watnick, who already scored 1 goal. Been hesitant to use that hyphenated name, don't want to get it wrong, but Paula Germino Watnick, that's what I'm going to go with. Oh, good header to put it right back on the offensive end for ASA. Tough bump there. Comer takes over. Now back to the middle of the field. ASA will wind one up, and the shot from Anderson deflected back. Brimmer still has it. Brimmer, long kick, too high. Alicia Brimmer put a charge into it. And a sub coming now for Premier Xplosion. 38th minute of play. Isola having to kick into the wind. one of her teammates is going to come down and do the kicking instead. Margaret Deitch, number 14. A ball that hangs in the air for a while. Foul called, that'll move it up a little ways. And Bree Pavel gets this one going a little bit quicker, sending it left side Johnson. Johnson near midfield. Works it back as Premier Xplosion sets up their offense, trailing 1-0 in the 39th minute of the first half. Our time slightly unofficial. There is no scoreboard here to indicate the official time. We just have to rely on the referee's signal. An attempt that goes wide right. This is our third match here today on this field, on the RAV4 field. Told you there's one other 1920U girls contest taking place right now, an Oklahoma club against an Illinois team. And we will have one more 1920U girls matchup. If you are at home watching this, have an interest in, you know, maybe what your daughter or granddaughter, niece may be facing later, you can tune back in and watch Beach FC 98 Academy against EGA Maroon 98, California against Nebraska. All involved in this preliminary rounds against each other. ASA tries to clear the attack from Premier, and they are able to do so. To the far left side and across the midway line. Working it down into the attacking space, but booted out off a deflection from Xplosion, Premier Xplosion, and so ASA, I believe, will have a corner kick here. That is the case. Paula Watnick will have the kick. And with the wind blowing left to right the way it is, if you can get enough hang time and go ahead and kick it a little bit outside of that first goalie box, then you got a real chance to get something to go in. That's perfect placement right there, but there's no header attempt as it went up just a bit too high. Maybe perhaps if Taylor Bennett would have been moved more over to the corner of the box, would have given her a good angle at it, but the kick sailed up over her head without a chance. That ball will trickle out of bounds on the far side. We're in the 41st minute now. About 5 to 6 more minutes left of this first half. It's no doubt been a battle between these two teams. 1-0 the score. Coyotes leading. The U.S. Youth Soccer National Championship was held a couple of years ago in the D.C. area, and so, you know, for this Baltimore team and Pennsylvania for that matter, they didn't have to travel very far. Much more travel for them this time. Travel more conducive to the Oklahoma-Nebraska teams, although that's one that's going to go up over the top of the goal post, and an opportunity just missed there from Premier Xplosion. Pretty good look at it. That one a moment ago off the foot of Vanessa Alisi. Talking about the travel and what's better, I've determined no matter where you go, it takes a while to get there. Especially in this part of the world, we don't have the same type of transit systems that are up in the Northeast, and got to drive along a lot of highways and interstates. ASA on the move. ASA's Julia Gray. Gray into the box. She keeps the possession. Will set it up now for her teammate, who decided not to take the shot there. Instead, very patient was Alicia Brimmer, and it results in YMS Premier Xplosion taking it back the other way. Yule down the left sideline being chased by Gray. It may have been Bennett. Trying to see 25 and 26 there. It was definitely 25, Bennett. Heavy kick across midfield. A header by Premier Xplosion to work it back to the right side, but it looks like this is going to be controlled by ASA for the moment anyways. No real control there from Premier Xplosion, but now they're able to send it back across. Wilson, and back around. Just about 2 more minutes left in this first half, maybe even a little bit less. Earlier on, we saw several of the Pennsylvania players out stretching and taking water breaks if they could. We have not seen that over the last 10 or 15 minutes. Seems as if they've gotten in a bit of a groove now as far as that goes, and there's also been fewer stoppages of play. On the very early going, we had the soccer ball flying everywhere but the field, it seemed like. Isola, the goalkeeper for Premier Xplosion, had to go chase 2 soccer ball down a long way 2 different times. And then a parent has even jumped in and helped out in that regard. But fairly clean played effort after that, and now we are at halftime. So 1-0 is our score as the ASA Coyotes lead the YMS Premier Xplosion in what appears to be a good contest. Hope you'll come back for the second half in a moment. This is the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships from Frisco, Texas.
Today's games are brought to you by AE Engine Media Marketing, AmericanEagle.com, Bag Tags, Bubba Burger, Bullseye CMYK, Cliff Kid, Expand-A-Brand, Front Rush, Fusionetics, Dick's Sporting Goods. Today's games are also brought to you by Major League Soccer, Nestle Nesquik, Nike, NSCAA, Positive Coaching Alliance, Premier International Tours, U.S. Soccer, Wilson Trophy Company, and Yokohama.
road starts here. The road paved by pain, sacrifice, and struggle. The road paved by passion and pursuit. The road where dreams come true. On this road, many will fail, and on this road, many dreams will fade. But as for you, what will be your fate? When there are seconds left and you are running on fumes, will you be satisfied with almost? Or will you dig down into the dirt, take one more step and make one more play, knowing that good enough isn't good enough, and all the blood, sweat, and tears have brought you to this moment, the moment where pain turns to greatness. On this road, nothing is given, everything is taken. On this road, winners will rise to the top, heroes will be made, and on this road, champions will be crowned.
It was 1935, the year that Elvis and Sandy Koufax were born. It was a year of many firsts, including the first NFL draft, the first Monopoly board game went on sale, Social Security began, and Babe Ruth hit his last home run. In addition to these milestones, the National Junior Challenge Cup was founded in 1935, offering a youth competition for young men in the United States. The cup was later named the James P. Maguire Cup, after the late U.S. soccer president, who himself was quite a standout in his earlier days, winning the U.S. Open Cup in 1929. Maguire would lead U.S. soccer and earn an international reputation as an excellent leader.
The Jim Maguire Cup was started in 1935. It was the only cup that the United States Soccer Federation had for youth players. And it was a very good competition, and I can tell you, I mean, this was the highlight of my soccer career to be a champion in 1954.
This storied cup, now the oldest trophy in youth sport.
It has a history, it has a meaning, I think it has tradition. So I think it's extremely important for our competitions, for all the age groups that kind of emulate the Maguire Cup.
Winning the Maguire Cup is huge, just because all that history that comes along with the oldest trophy in youth sports period, that's really big for us.
Who will write their name in the next chapter of the storied Maguire Cup?
And welcome back to the second half of our contest between the ASA Coyotes and the YMS Premier Xplosion 98. Coyotes out of Maryland, Premier Xplosion from Pennsylvania, and what is a rematch of the Region 1 Championship contest won by the Coyotes in penalty kicks. If we were to get to a tie in this one, there would be no overtime frame. At least that's what we've been told. Due to the preliminary rounds, it would indeed end in a tie. 1-0 our score as the Coyotes lead. They scored a goal in the 13th minute from Paula Watnick, and so the two sides have flipped the field now, and the Coyotes are in the white uniforms. They head right to left into this second half wind, and meanwhile Premier Xplosion in the navy uniform, tops and shorts, will head left to right with the wind to their advantage. Hannah Warner is in goal for the ASA team, and meanwhile Gabrielle Isola is in goal for the Premier. Weather update here in Frisco. We're under a heat advisory until 8 p.m. Central Time. 90 degrees and partly cloudy skies right now, although the clouds are clearing out even more so than they did earlier. Right now the heat index 102, so it feels like 102 degrees, and we have a south wind of 13 miles per hour. UV index, of course, very high right now, and our high temperature is expected to be 97 degrees. They are now indicating that tomorrow's high temperature will hit triple digits of 100 with a heat index of close to 110. Friday, much of the same, but that won't matter too much. There'll be an off day there. And then Saturday could get a little bit interesting. The temperature will fall a bit down into the upper 80s, low 90s with a 50% chance of rain. So Sunday, low 90s, 10% chance of rain. For native Texans like myself, when you see the chance of rain at 50%, the concern you often have is it really going to be a rain, or is it just going to stick around for 30 minutes or so and just make this place completely miserable and humid? So you hope you get a really good rain if there's one actually coming. You don't want this 50% chance and then just 20, 30 minutes of rain. Pace of play moving along here in the first couple of minutes of the second half. 2 45-minute halves. Player goes stumbling to the grass. It was Amanda Wilson with no call. And that one is going to go back to the goalkeeper, who makes the stop, Hannah Warner. Mentioned it earlier, but we do have one other 1920U girls division game going on right now. WSA 98 Red out of Oklahoma and Team Chicago Academy from Illinois. If you are at all interested in checking in with that, I don't want to lose you as an audience member here, but you could flip over there and check in on that one perhaps. John Peters with the call of that contest over on Field 8. Tripping foul called against ASA, and that gives the ball back to Premier Xplosion. Starting to get settled back in here. Two teams will play again tomorrow, of course. That will be day 3 of the preliminary play. The 1920U girls schedule tomorrow looks like this. At 11 a.m. you have FC Kansas City Forte Elite 98 against EGA Maroon 98. That's Missouri against Nebraska. And then a little bit later on, you have WSA 98 Red against this Premier Xplosion team. That's going to be a 1 o'clock contest. And then the other 1 o'clock game will feature the Coyotes against Team Chicago Academy 98 Elite, as you can guess, out of Illinois. That's Thursday's schedule. Then off on Friday, of course, and then Saturday's semifinals for the 19 and 20U girls will start at 7 o'clock on fields 12 and 13. Championship taking place on Sunday. There will actually be a couple of championships on Saturday night, the younger divisions 13 and 14U, girls and boys. But again, this championship will take place about 7:15 on Sunday morning. So nearly 6 minutes into the second half, not a whole lot of action just yet. Ball being controlled on the far side of the field by Wilson for the Coyotes. Bicknell in the middle. We had a whistle there. I believe that was Bicknell. Well, a big gust of wind, and that ball went right with it. Oh, that was 10 yards past the midfield line, perhaps. Comer works it to the left side as ASA comes away with it. Kesterman collides, and a fairly late whistle. It looks as if the Premier Xplosion player is the one that took the brunt of that. Limping away is Meredith Weber. Free kick coming for the Coyotes. Taylor Bennett will have the honors here. Met by a wall of 3 defenders from Premier Xplosion. Bennett sends it left. Did not hit the wall of players. In fact, cleared them and went left of the goalpost. Gabriela Sola kept that one fairly low on the ground. We'll see how her strategy changes with the wind. This is going to be controlled by Julia Comer. Comer works around one defender, tries to split 2. She still controls it, and now kicked away from her. A battle ensues and picked up by Murphy Agnew. Agnew racing down the left side for Premier Xplosion. Her team down 1-0. She trips and falls with a foul coming against ASA. Matchup of 2 perennial teams in this 1920 division. It's the best of the best right here at the Youth Soccer Championship in Frisco. Now this time, Premier Xplosion will have the kick from about 10 yards outside of the box, with the trio of defenders in front. This one floats high and wide right. I was mentioning a minute ago with Iasola, we'll see how she plays the wind in goal, because she could really lift one into the air and maybe give her team some momentum, but she may also want to try to keep it low out of the wind to place it directly to one of her teammates, because once it gets up into the air, there's no real telling where it's going to end up. So we'll watch her kicks when she gets the opportunity over the next few minutes or so to see how she's going to play that. Throw in from the sideline coming here for Lindsay Whitekind. Pretty good toss up ahead, but her teammate Emma Anderson couldn't come up with it. Instead, Premier Xplosion has it. Ball placed across the middle, intended for Ewell, taken away. Good steal. Good pickup that time from Bennett. And Bennett works it down the left side into the feet of Kesterman. Kesterman crossing to the middle. I don't know if she was attempting to pass that there or if it was poked away. My view was a bit shielded. Nonetheless, Premier came away with it momentarily. Now back to the left side, Anderson. Anderson controlling the pacing. As they look for a clearing, Watnick has it, and Watnick will sky one high and out. '56th minute of action here, second half. Even though we're 10 minutes into the second half, just kind of getting settled back in here, and plenty of play still remaining. Close 1-0 game. Our first game earlier today on this field featured 15U boys division. We had a 1-0 game there, and what was a good game. Really, the games on this field have been fairly smooth. Maybe others are seeing that to be the case on their field as well. Although you do begin to wonder about the heat now at this point of the day. Looks like Bicknell controlling on the right side, works it to the corner. Bicknell is given a bit of space with Datch guarding her. And now Bicknell will fire in a left-footed shot, and it is saved by the goalkeeper, Gabriella Sola. A pretty good effort there. Looked like, I don't know if it was directly off of Bicknell or if it was sent to a teammate there in front of the goal. Premier Xplosion seems to be being blocked at every attempt by the defenders and the midfielders. You know, obviously the strikers are the ones that get the most notoriety, those players that can go out and get you a goal, but the defense has been really good from this ASA team. Here's a little bit of a miscue just as we say that, taken away by Yule, and it was still a good hustling effort by Taylor Bennett to regroup and recover. So Maddie Yule trying to get involved in this contest. Hadn't really been able to do so too much. Heavy kick from Bennett. Past the midway line, will be bounced around a bit with a few headers. Now Kesterman, straight to the middle of the field. On the cross, left side, Anderson. And Emma Anderson, no shot there. Defense recovers. She's not able to work one in towards the net. She'll have to go chase down the soccer ball. A little delay here for Watnick to have the corner kick. Watnick fires in, a header from Premier Xplosion to eliminate the threat. Now Premier Xplosion on the move along the right sideline, looking for some help is Rebecca Rossett. And it is going to be Yule in the box, cleared out by, I believe, Wilson. Wilson having no part of that one. Ball back in play pretty quickly there, but it's going to be with the Coyotes. Told you we have Beach FC 98 Academy and EGA Maroon 98 up next. Those two teams are here watching the conclusion of this one. Yule tries to work her way around her defender, and a fairly big collision there between her and Wilson. Some of the fans saying that maybe that one was deflected off of Premier Xplosion, and that was not the call, or that was the call that was given. They wanted it to go the other way. Ball placed on the grass, and that one goes right through the middle to the goalkeeper. Warner makes the stop. Not too much of a threat there, but now some pressure being applied by Rebecca Rossett, causing Warner to have to pick up the ball. Kind of the drop kick there from Warner, and a very good one. Ball out in front. Good chase. Vanessa Alisi has it. Cross into the box to Rossett. She can't handle it cleanly, and that one ends up right in front of our broadcast booth. Thank you to the fan that saved my binoculars from being knocked over, perhaps. Probably thinking less about me as he was about just getting the ball back in play for the teams. Morgan Whitlock to throw it in for Premier Xplosion. Big solid throw there that gets by and picked up by the goalkeeper, Warner. Some of those type of throws, you just never know when the goalkeeper might have their view blocked, or a player can't get a foot on it or a body on it and opens up a lane for a goal, but not the case there. Noticing that Premier Xplosion now is starting to put pressure on Warner, the goalkeeper, every time she tracks one down. They don't want to allow her much time to think about her decision. They want her to rush that a bit, so they're putting pressure on her. Crossfield pass back to the left side and worked back up top a bit to Wykind. Stopped by Iasola. 63rd minute, second half. A 1-0 ASA Coyotes lead over Premier Xplosion. That one not free just yet. Yeah, it looked as if ASA was going to let that one just go out of bounds, but Vanessa Alisi not content to do that. She was trying to chase after it. Because of it, had to kick it off to the side. So a throw in coming from right near the corner. A lot of communication taking place to position everybody where they need to be. Throw in will be tracked down by Warner. Good effort there from Whitlock, trying to get something on that right inside, and just wasn't there for him. Oh, a hard knockdown and a foul called as Haley Bicknell took the collision. So we're now into the 65th minute here. Substitution for ASA. Whitekind will go out. And Julia Gray is in. High floating ball that's free there at the net for a moment, and the goalkeeper tracks it down and immediately rushes it back out onto the field, where Premier Xplosion will try to get a burst of speed the other direction. And the defense able to get back. Coyotes turn it to their advantage, and now they have the throw in. About 25 minutes of action left in this one. Seems like a long time ago when ASA scored their goal in the 13th minute. A soccer ball will be chased down by a fan to be put back in play. Premier Xplosion has done a better job of managing this second half, and now they're going to have a real opportunity here as a yellow card has been issued to Dina da Silva, I believe it was, in the 66th minute. So we got the penalty kick coming here, and we've got a couple of players jawing with each other, jockeying for position. Doesn't really matter, though. Margaret Deitch is going to have the free kick here. Trying to get this thing tied at 1 as Warner is in goal. Here comes the big moment. Deitch's kick is stopped. It's stopped by Warner, and she holds on to it. Oh, what a big moment in this one here in the 68th minute. Warner knocked it down, stayed with the play, and will now drop kick it away and smile along the way perhaps. Or at least take a deep breath after that one. We've got a break in the action here in the 68th minute, where we are coming down the home stretch of this second half. ASA Coyotes lead YMS Premier Xplosion by 1-0 our score here in the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships from Frisco, Texas. Both sides getting a break just a moment ago for the final stretch run here. We're in the 68th minute of this contest. ASA Coyotes leading Premier Xplosion 1-0. The goal coming way back in the 13th minute of action. Just a little while ago, a key moment in the contest as Margaret Deitch was not able to get her free kick past the goalkeeper, Hannah Warner. Played it the right direction, knocked the ball down. At that point, it was fair game, but she then wrapped it up and had a drop kick back the other way to limit that threat. Another minute or so went by, and then we had the break, and that's where we are now. Back to action. ASA in the white uniforms going right to left. And they're not quite ready to play keep away yet, but they are starting to slow things down a little bit, and they'll go all the way back to Warner, who will boot it to midfield. That was the strategy of ASA early on, was to keep the ball moving in the backfield from left to right and then wait for the opportunity. They do it here again to the middle of the field. That one's squeezing past two defenders off the foot of Emma Anderson and out of play. So Isola, the goalkeeper, who has given up just that one goal in the 13th minute, will give way to her teammate to kick this ball, and it's Margaret Deitch. So she's definitely got a strong leg on this team and allow her to do the kicking from back near the goal. She also had the penalty kick. Yule up the left side. Xplosion taking their time here before placing the ball down. Still have a long ways to go, but can't afford to take too much more time. Just about 20 minutes or so left now. Pretty good effort there to get that one closer to the goal area. And a corner kick is coming for Premier Xplosion. Bree Pavel will go over and set this one up. Pavel fires just outside the goalkeeper box, a header that goes wide right from Rebecca Rossett. And so that threat is over there from Premier Xplosion, and the ball will be turned back over to ASA. Kick that's going to sail out of bounds, and I don't know if that one came off the foot the wrong way. The wind blowing left to right and kind of, I guess, out from the south to southwest. But somehow that one got caught up into the wind and took off towards the east a bit. ASA backpedaling despite the pressure and now moving forward. Looked like a little bit of a trip up there, maybe a push in the back without a call, and now the call made. Goalkeeper Warner trying to throw the ball to her teammate there and didn't quite roll it far enough. So here's Bennett as the fans really begin to line up along the A-frame advertising signs now to get right near the field. It's starting to get probably a bit nerve-wracking for some of the parents and grandparents who've watched their teams and granddaughters compete at such a high level all this time, and we're less than 20 minutes to play in a pivotal second day matchup between the two teams. Ball's going to go back to Premier Xplosion now. Deitch will kick it. She'll have the wind to her favor here, and it is really blowing now. High booming kick with a header knocked away. Two headers, in fact, to give it right back to the Coyotes. Player tripped up, no call there. Header across the middle by Rossett. Rossett was being held maybe just a bit, and it is going to be taken by the Coyotes. Coyotes, Watnick has it, works it up to the left side, and Kesterman could not grab a hold of it cleanly, so she loses it out on the sidelines, and Premier Xplosion takes over. 75th minute of play. Down to about 15 minutes of action left. Maybe slightly more than that. Agnew out in front. Agnew still with it. She's tripped up and no call. No call, gives the ball to Warner. Premier Xplosion still ends up with it, and they look like they may have a real opportunity here as that one floats up just high over the net on a good effort from Gina Sexton. Going to have a few subs here, at least one for Premier Xplosion. Hannah Warner in goal for the Coyotes has done a great job today. She plays her college soccer at Towson University. Meanwhile, on the other side, Gabriela Alasola is at Villanova. Have a whistle there. I was looking down momentarily, didn't quite see what the call was, but they're saying it'll be from the corner. So Premier Xplosion's Bree Pavel out of Mercer University will have the kick. Saw one from this corner earlier get caught up into the wind and really fly to the near side of the field. Pavel places it outside the goalie box, and that one is going to be sent back the other direction. Although with a player back for Premier Xplosion, they are able to keep the possession. Strong kick into the box, nobody there. That one is out off of the Coyotes. Gina Sexton, who was winding one up a moment ago and sailed it just high over the top of the crossbar, Showed a strong kick into the box there as well. Rossett is going to be called for the foul this time. Another ball that sails out of play. Well, that was not the kick that the Coyotes wanted there. Gives the ball right back to Premier Xplosion. Although the throw-in may have gone, yeah, definitely went too far past the intended target there. So the ball just harmlessly rolls out of bounds and right back to the Coyotes. Have a chance to square up the kick a little bit better this time. Maybe that wind out there on the field is perhaps blowing towards our direction. We've seen several balls fly from right to left. Ball tossed back into Comer. She works it back behind the line. A lot of pressure from Rossett. Rossett comes away with it, and the goalkeeper is able to clear it out. And we also had Rossett, with her momentum carrying her forward, kind of clothesline the goalkeeper. And they do make the call. Well, Rossett had a clearing for a moment. Just ball was a little too far out in front of her. Premier Xplosion now down to about 11-12 minutes, and they trail 1-0. Intensity really beginning to pick up here with the pressure mounting for both of these teams. Our goal came in the 13th minute from Paula Watnick, made it 1-0. Yellow card was issued in the 66th minute to Dina De Silva. Ball lost out of bounds there that time by ASA Coyotes. If you're tuning in early for our 1 o'clock matchup, Beach FC 98 Academy, EGA Maroon 98, or maybe watching this one before that one starts, thanks for being with us. Don't quite think we'll have a 1 o'clock start time on that one, as we're starting to get a little bit pushed back. But it should still be fairly close, depending on the amount of warm-up time that is given. '82nd minute of action now. Throw in from Bennett, ends up right back with her. Bennett across, and I believe offside's the call there. Ready to get the ball back in play, and now they finally do. So it took a little bit of time, which Premier Xplosion doesn't have just a whole lot of time to waste. Strong kick, putting it back on the offensive end, and a good chase by Drew Kesterman to come up with that one on the left wing. Fires back across the middle, and that's going to end up in End up going out there. Actually, the goalkeeper able to reel it in. A high header. And that one is out. Yeah, they did call the foul. Okay. Took a while on the whistle there. Player for Premier Xplosion being told to back up the soccer ball just a little bit. Again, we're inside less than 10 minutes to play, and Premier Xplosion, I guess they're looking for a quality shot over quantity, because when they get these free kicks, they're still taking their time setting everything up. They'll have to pick up the pace just a little bit at this point. Well out in front. Premier Xplosion tries to work it back near midfield, but in doing so, it goes to Bolu. And ASA has it. Back across, a header, bounced around a bit. Now another opportunity off of a deflection. It's saved by Isola. Opportunity there for the Coyotes to perhaps put it away. They could not quite do so. Far right side, Reed with it. She lost it out, and now Premier Xplosion hurries to the ball. Hannah Stonkus almost fell down, tripped up, trying to make a move there a moment ago. Foul called against Premier Xplosion, giving the free kick to the Coyotes. That'll run another 20, 30 seconds off the clock, perhaps. Getting in place for the kick is Taylor Bennett. Bennett ran to the ball, stuttered, and decided not everybody was ready yet. Now Bennett sends one in. A header by Premier Xplosion's Rachel Berry, and then kicking it out near midfield. It was redirected back to her. Ball loose and picked up by the goalkeeper. Isola tracks it down. Bombs one down the field. It's going to take a high bounce and end up with the Coyotes. A little bit of what I was talking about earlier with Premier Xplosion's goalkeeper, Isola, on how she would play those. You want to get it up into the wind to get some distance on it, but in doing so, you end up basically kicking it back to the back line for the Coyotes. You don't have your players in position at that point. They've tried a couple of different ways with her teammate kicking. About 5 minutes to go now. Good passing from ASA to get that ball out in front down the left side. Now a chase taking place. And it will be won by Premier Xplosion. But instead the ball ends up out, and do we have a sub, yes or no? No, we do not. It looked as if the Coyotes would sub somebody in, then decided not to. Down the left side, Drew Kesterman. Kesterman stuck in the corner, took a bit of a shove, and Premier Xplosion ends up in possession, trailing 1-0. Looking for an equalizing goal near midfield now. Worked up along the left side by Agnew, and Agnew sprinting forward, still going. Agnew still controlling as she works her way in and out around one defender. Now punches it forward up in front. Yule too high. too much on that one. Elwell, I wondered about that. I figured I was probably saying that one wrong throughout. I needed that 80 minutes ago. Elwell there missing on that attempt. Down to about 2.5, 3 minutes to go now. And we do see a sub here from the Coyotes to slow things down. Normally a native Texan would be able to draw that out into 2 syllables, but I tried to turn it into 1. Our clock showing 88:21, but on most occasions been able to add another 30 seconds to a minute or so. We'll see if that is the case here. Although right at the conclusion of the first half, we were right on it there. Up in front, the goalkeeper will step out and stop that. Warner tracking it the whole way. Warner going with a drop kick, and it is heading out of bounds. Premier Xplosion, a quick throw in along the left side as Rossett tangled up. Foul will go against Premier Xplosion. Yellow card issued to Rebecca Rossett. Very late in the action here, so don't know if that'll matter too much. 2 yellow cards and you're out, but wouldn't expect another one. Coyotes want to do what they can to keep the ball on the offensive end and away from their goal in a 1-0 game. Any sort of misfire could result in Premier Xplosion getting one more opportunity. But if the Coyotes can keep it well away from that opposite goal, they should be in good shape. Going to do that right now. Just waiting on that final whistle that should come any moment here in the next minute or so as the wind intensifies. Ball does head back to Premier Xplosion. This is perhaps their last opportunity, trailing 1-0, and there will be no opportunity. That is the final whistle. A 13th minute goal early on by the Coyotes leads to the victory, 1-0 over YMS Premier Xplosion. And so a rematch of the regional final goes to ASA again. 1-0 the final. This has been coverage of the 1920 U Girls Division U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships from Frisco, Texas. I'm Michael Westbrook. So long for now.